Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So today I kind of wanted to go ahead and make a video sort of explaining and going over why I really did not like Revelation Online. For those of you guys who don't know, Revelation Online is an MMO that's being published by my.com, I believe they're called, the same people who did Skyforge. Now, I've personally been on the hunt for a new MMORPG since Arcade kind of went up in the air. No, I'm not playing the new Arcade. No, I will never play Arcade. No, I will never play Arcade. Because people seem to ask this question a lot. Yeah, I've been on the hunt for a new MMO, and there's a couple out there on the horizon. Revelation was one that I really wanted to take a keen interest to. And I have to say, now, what I'm about to say is strictly my opinion. Take what I say with a grain of salt, because, you know, I'm trying to explain to people who kind of think like me, as this is my YouTube channel. A lot of you guys do. So I'm going to give you guys, like, the brutal cut honesty on this game. Now, I am going to judge this game very hard, as it's in its first closed beta stage. But to me, sometimes, this is all you need to decide whether or not you like a game and how you want to see the game kind of progress. So, I'm going to talk about things I really dislike in the closed beta test. If you're here to comment, but X and X and X, stop bitching and complaining it's a beta, I've got some news for you. I play betas, alphas, early access, pre-early access, pre-beta, early access of the beta, early access for a living, alright? I have, like, a set of standards that needs to, like, you know, it's got to fit a certain role, or else, like, to me, like, I don't even know why I'm playing it, because I'm playing alphas and betas all the time, and the last thing you want to go do is play a game that's not finished, that's not translated, that has you run 65 miles for questing. Anyway, let's go on into it, alright? So, I believe that this client was not even released on the English client because they were rushed. So the game is pretty much like 40% Russian, 40% Chinese, and like 20% English. A lot of the storyline, like, a lot of the quests are kind of sort of translated, like, you can see what you need to do, except, to be completely honest, I don't really think many people read lore, and I understand it needs to get translated at some point, but their priorities were not really set properly, because if you hit, like, level 40, or, like, level 35, there are skill descriptions that are not even translated. Your buff bar, if you look at the top left there, is not translated. You have an entire new system later on that you get that, like, unlocks for your character that allows you to customize your skills, is not in English. You can't even unlock it unless you do a quest for it. The quests are not in English. The quests that are in English, some of them are bugged. Like, for example, it'll say, like, make sure to combine them, you press this button, but you're supposed to press the opposite button. So instead of, like, breaking your gear, you're supposed to click break, but it doesn't actually break it. In fact, it actually fixes it. And it's like, what? Performance-wise, the game was pretty smooth. I'm not going to lie, I was very happy to see that. It did have some own type of memory leaking within your items. Anytime you would hover over an item, it would, like, accumulate this lag spike, and it would just get pretty nasty. But in terms of lag, I'd give it, like, a fair score, like 8 out of 10 was playable, definitely. Graphics were nice. The flying was very nice. The combat, I think, is not for me. The problem is when you have a game that has tap target features, but you advertise it like true action, it just doesn't always work. There's a lot of bugs to be found. So there was another game that advertised it, which was called, I don't even remember. I don't remember. The game was so bad I couldn't play it. Something Dragon? I don't really... Riders of Icarus, that game. That game was shit. Alright, so here's the problem with it. And like, it was basically so bad that my cat even has to... Mini cat, come here. It's okay, buddy. I got you. I'll save you. I'll save you from the combat. Alright. So the problem that occurs is when you're playing a game, right, and they say that it's true action target and tab target, or true action combat, it doesn't make sense, because how could one person be playing alt-tab, or be playing true action when the other guy is locked on? It doesn't. It just means that the skills that you can aim, you get 100% flexibility over, but everything else still locks on. So it's kind of cool, like, the way it works, but in reality, nothing really changes that much. And I personally found a bug with every single control set that you could use. So you have WASD movement, which is set for every single one. You have mouse, and then you have true action. Each one had, like, a game-breaking bug for me that kind of trivialized the combat. So, like, the WASD one was anytime I would use my auto attack, my character had to recenter itself, which would mean I could never kite or I could never use my auto attack. The true action combat one would randomly hard lock onto units, which means I can't heal because I have to deselect them, reselect my ally to heal them. And then the initial one had a bug with my, I forgot what it was exactly. It was a bug with channeling skills not properly working and going off. So that was kind of like another really big issue. Skills, like the actual skills themselves look really nice. Like if you look at it, it's beautiful. Some of like the way the skills work. So I was very proud to see that. Some other stuff that I didn't really enjoy about the game though, is the way the dailies work. So the game is, from what I've been told, not really based around questing and more based on dailies. Well, we couldn't really figure any of that stuff out because when we were playing the beta, nothing was really translated, so we would just have to quest because we didn't know. Like, if you look here, we don't know what the fuck we're even doing. This is the main storyline. This is part of the main storyline quest. Like, if you look at it, I don't know if you guys can see the options. Like, you literally don't know what you're doing. You're playing Russian roulette. I'm trying to debate with the guy right now. And like, I'm just going through every single option trying to figure out what he wants. But yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of the stuff that just didn't really make sense to me. I felt like they released so much content. So the complete opposite of a lot of betas. You know, like, supposedly there are like 8 million different ways you could quest. You could do the main storyline, you could do the sub-main storyline, you could do the dailies, you could do events, you could do grinding at this specific zone, but we didn't know any of this because none of it was really released. I feel that for an MMO like Revelation, and I hate to say this because I've never said it before, but they really should have released the beta as like 3-day phases over the weekend like some games do. Like today in this phase, you can get from level 1 to 20, and we have this much content unlocked. Learn the content. You know, next week is 20 to 40. This is the content that comes out here because there's just so much shit you can do and you just don't know what you're doing. So like some people day one were like skyrocketing high level, and the others were we were all stuck behind because we hit our daily limits, we reached our cap, we just didn't understand what to do. And that was like a really big turnoff for me. You know, a lot of people say, oh, well, Pohx, are you going to play the game on release? Because it's going to be different. Everything's going to be translated. But to me, I don't know if I'm going to play it on release because I just had such a bad experience, you know? It's like if you're going to have sex and you know she could be really good, but it just turned out to be really bad. Do you have the balls to talk to her again? Most people don't, you know? Revelation, it just took me right by the nuts, man. I don't know. I'm speechless. There's nothing I can really say. But, you know, all in all, I would say the game, honestly, is not that bad. If they did not rush the game, I think it would have been solid. I think in terms of, like, the MMOs that are coming out, this is definitely on the upper scale, which is a good thing. I just don't think it's going to be for me, that's all. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, shareable interests, you know, drop them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I do apologize for the huge, insane amount of lack of content on my YouTube. I've just been kind of like doing a lot of things in my personal life, and pretty much all of that stuff has now been taken care of, so I can get back into YouTubing, you know, hopefully every other day, if not every day. And I've also got a weight loss progression video coming up because I've dropped about 35, 40 pounds since, I don't know, a while ago of making my video. And I'm much more healthy now too and physically active. So anyway, I hope you boys enjoyed yourself. As always, if you did, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Take care, everybody.